To plants as
Today
it
in
slowly
Across the Fence, a 4-H program that brings older and younger students together to learn and to lead. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. I'm Keith Silva, in for Judy Simpson. I'm sure many of you were 4-Hers, and maybe some of you still are. 4-H was founded on the principles of learning by doing and record keeping. If a 4-Her wants to ride a horse or show a cow, they're going to keep track of what it eats, too. These principles transfer over to another 4-H project that involves students taking leadership roles as environmental science teachers. I recently visited Miss Beaupre's class at Union Elementary in Montpelier to learn firsthand how this hands-on program works. When the 4-H Tri-Team from Main Street Middle School in Montpelier shows up at Union Elementary School with pipe cleaners and paper bags, it's sure to be a good time.
There you go. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
Today we are teaching them the different aspects of a tree. So the tree has roots, a trunk, and a crown. And we also taught them the different life stages of a tree.
Ready?
These teens take part in the UVM Extension 4-H Try for the Environment program. TRY stands for Teens Reaching Youth. The teens use the 4-H hallmark of learning by doing to teach environmental literacy to the younger students.
We made tree costumes to help demonstrate the different parts of a tree and help them think deeper about them. So we had a belt with roots that were pipe cleaners, and then we had a paper bag as a vest, and that was the trunk, and we had a crown with leaves on it. What does your trunk do, Gemma?
The curriculum was developed by UVM Extension and the Vermont Department of Forest Parks and Recreation. The team receives a lesson plan, but it's up to them to make it their own.
As we kept going and as we kept practicing in school, it got easier. And especially because I'm working with Ruby and Megan, I've been friends with them for a long time, that makes it a lot easier. And our communication with each other, we already know each other, so it's a lot easier that way.
A mature tree has lots of leaves and it is healthy. I have always had an interest in teaching younger kids, and I've always had an interest in the outdoors and especially trees. So this felt like perfect for me because it's both of my interests together, and I thought I could learn a lot from it too.
Teaching provides these teens with life skills like communication and encourages leadership development.
I think teaching kids makes me more comfortable with people in general. So I think it helps your social skills as well as just communication, different forms like talking to younger kids as well as the teacher. So adjusting your communication based on the audience.
Once we know the information, we have to go and be leaders and teach the younger kids what we learned. So it ties into how we have to learn something and then give our information to them.
For me personally, I think that when it comes to being a leader, you learn a lot from your mistakes, and that makes you who you are, and it's just how you act after those mistakes is how you become a better leader.
This is a coniferous tree.
I learned that I have great kids, and with great kids you can do anything.
Don Taylor is the Main Street Middle School 4-H Tri-Team advisor.
I think the lesson today was amazing for a couple reasons. Number one is the problem solving that I witnessed, also the collaboration between the kids, and the way they were able to kind of carry off the lesson and confront a lot of the issues that teachers do without a hitch. And they seemed like they were responsible, they were practiced, they were organized, they were kind. But I think the kids learned a lot as well, and that sort of experiences not only helps them see the benefit of their education, but I think it also makes them feel good about it, and that's what education is all about.
This one isn't working.
In 2013, the Vermont legislature passed Act 77. The law adds options, what are called flexible pathways, to the traditional classroom. In a nutshell, students are encouraged to pursue experiences outside the classroom. The 4-H Try for the Environment program is a good example because it teaches transferable skills like leadership development and public speaking. skills students will need for life.
What's next?
I think they get some of the foundational knowledge in school, but having them or giving them the opportunity to practice that in a wide range of community and public venues, I think makes it more real. And I also think it allows us to have conversations that are a little bit more meaningful than just recycling information, which might happen in a traditional classroom. And I think as part of Act 77 with the Agency of Education, one of their big pushes is for flexible pathways where kids are demonstrating their proficiencies sort of in the real world. And this is just the beginning and a foundational step for our kids so that when they move to high school, they'll understand how to take advantage of opportunities across a wide range of skills and interests.
Act 77 puts UVM Extension's 4-H program front and center as a partner educators can turn to provide personalized learning opportunities. Sarah Kleinman is the UVM 4-H program director.
4-H has been doing personalized learning for over 100 years. I mean, that's really what it is all about. Through the students' interest, they choose a project, and it's through exploration of that project where they learn life skills, which in current words is the transferable skills. It's the 21st century skills. So it is, and that's what personalized learning is all about, in the hopes that through Act 77, students will be more engaged in school or more engaged in whatever it is they choose to explore further and showcase the various proficiencies because they like what they're learning, they're interested in the project. Kids come to us because they want to explore something, that whether it's animals or technology or healthy living or civic engagement, they learn and they participate in these fun activities. At the same time they're learning, they're exploring, and then they can show that stuff that they get at the end and use it towards academic progress.
Smile and sigh.
The biggest benefit is that it allows us to create community partnerships. I think that educators across the state, as we implement Act 77, are looking for those community relationships. And as they build those relationships, the stronger those get, the more opportunities there are for young people to be responsible and committed citizens, which is our end goal. One of the takeaways from this experience is how much kids have to offer that we don't see when they're sitting in chairs or sitting in desks, when we're telling them what to do. When they're given the responsibility and the opportunity, they can show you just how amazing they can be. And I think fostering and nurturing that spirit is part of our job.
Maturity, reproduction.
It said the best students make the best teachers. For the members of this 4-H tri-team, this is an experience they'll learn from for the rest of their lives.
Then what's next? Leadership to me is teaching younger or older people about what you've learned.
I think leadership is really important,
Yeah, great job.
so you can have a voice. I think everyone should have a voice so they can stand up for what they believe.
Okay.
Finding
so
your
next
voice
we're going
from
to learn
leading
about the tree
and
growth
learning.
Stages.
Now that's
So you guys
something
can take
worth
off
a
your
try.
costumes if you want.
I'm joined by Lauren Traster, UVM Extension Tri-Team Coordinator and Teen and Leadership Coordinator, and she created the Tri program. Next to Lauren is Gwen Kozlowski. Gwen works as the coordinator for UVM Extension's Urban and Community Forestry program. Welcome back to Across the Fence.
Thank you. Thanks, Keith.
Gwen, what's the Urban Community Forestry's role in this 4-H program?
We actually helped develop the curriculum for this 6-lesson series of the TRI program. Highlights of the program include what makes a tree, the different ways that we value trees and forests in our community, some tree identification skills, and of course stewardship and what students can do and take care of the trees in their communities.
Awesome. Lauren, how many TRI teams are there?
Yeah, so this year we added the Forest and Trees program, and we had 7 teams this year. But we also have a renewable energy program, a waste solutions program, and a food systems program. So 4 different program areas in all. And we had 32 teams this year with over 100 teens participating.
That's great.
Yeah.
What are these students going to have to show when they get finished teaching?
So what we are really after with the teens' involvement in this program is they're developing leadership skills. We really want them to gain different life skills around leadership, communication, problem solving, decision making, critical thinking, all of the things that make you a good leader. But what they're also doing is partnering with our partners in this program, and they're taking the work of our partner organizations and they're able to expand the outreach efforts. So they're doing real work in our communities that's needed.
So they have, so they're teaching, they're doing that work that's needed. Is there sort of a correlation to the 4-H record book here that they normally have? Is there a video? Do they get to sort of show something afterwards?
Well, one of the things that we're hoping our teens do, so there is data that they have to collect. There's reporting on the students that they're teaching, but one of the things that we ask them to do is reflect on their experience. They're doing a service learning project, and part of service learning is you need to reflect on your experience. So there's a set of questions that as a team they need to reflect on at the end of each 6-lesson program that they do to really reflect on what went well, what challenges they faced, and they also look at our life skill wheel and identify for themselves what life skills they felt were improved, and they have to give evidence as to why they think those life skills were improved.
And that's a big step, just going back and writing down sort of what you thought about and what happened.
Exactly. It helps them grow as leaders to be able to look at what they've just done and then take what they've learned and kind of own that new knowledge so that they can apply it in a future situation.
Right. Gwen, you've been out to a couple of those other classes. What's been the reaction from the teachers? Oh, we didn't get a chance to talk to Miss Beaupre and find out about her kids, but did you get a chance to talk to the other teachers? What are their thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's amazing to see these teens rise to the occasion. Like Lauren said, they have to problem solve, think on their feet, just like any other teacher. So those teachers can see that and appreciate what those teens are doing. But what they, time and time again, teachers recognize that these teens are role models in their classrooms. They appreciate that they're demonstrating that leadership and action piece. They're effectively communicating with with the teachers, with the younger youth, and they're displaying all sorts of different ways and modes of communicating, and it's impressive to be able to see them. And those teens are actually, the younger youth are enthralled when those teens are in the classroom. They hang on every word. Many times the program's used as an incentive for good behavior, so teens, when teens arrive in the classroom.
So that what you're telling me is that teachers, if you want your kids to behave, just have a tri-team come by and that'll take care of it all. Lauren, we've worked on a few of these tri stories. This one sort of gets to the heart of tri for you. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, the whole reason I created Try 4 years ago was to give our young people real opportunities for leadership, not just in-school make-believe situation. We really put them out in real situations where they get to make a difference in the world. But what's really exciting about Try is the movement in education right now towards personalized learning and developing proficiencies in the way that they can achieve graduation proficiencies by not just sitting in a classroom, but by doing programs like Try and gaining the credits, if you would call it, for their schoolwork. So it's really exciting to have these opportunities that for students who are looking for a different pathway to graduation, they can participate in Try to gain some of the skills that they need to show proficiencies in their middle school or high school.
And that's the Act 77 stuff that we were talking about. That it's giving a kid who may not be used to the traditional classroom a chance to achieve something and to pass, to graduate.
Yeah, the whole point of Act 77 is to give students, whether they are at-risk students or AP students, not everybody wants to sit in a classroom and be a passive learner. This really gives the opportunity to personalize your learning. To the students that we have, some of them are doing it because they are environmental advocates. Some of them are doing it because they think they want to be a teacher when they graduate, and so this is giving them an opportunity to experience that. Some of them know that they want to be environmental professionals, and others are just looking for a different way to learn. And so being involved in Try gives them, all of these students, a different pathway to gain proficiencies, to put that in their learning plan, to showcase what they've done without maybe having to sit in a classroom and take a more formal approach to education.
A little bit less than a minute left. We just should point out really quickly, these aren't your traditional 4-H clubs. This is an after-school program. Just really quickly on that.
Well, it's not an after-school program. It is more of an out-of-school program where community organizations offer experiences to Vermont students to gain different skills that they might be looking to gain. So we do have some 4-H members that participate, but most of the students that are in Try, this is their first experience with 4-H. And you don't have to be in 4-H to do Try. You just need to be interested and want to have a unique opportunity to learn.
Well, that's great, and good reason for people to try.
Exactly.
For more information about the TRY program or any other 4-H opportunity, call toll-free 866-260-5603. That's 866-260-5603. You can also check UVM Extension's website. Click on the link to 4-H. I want to thank everyone here at WCAX for making this program possible, and as always, thank you for stopping by Across the Fence.